Yeah, not so hot anymore. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So right now it is 5:40 on a Sunday evening, and I just realized that I don't have a video for Monday's drop. I spent my afternoon driving around looking for some parts, which I ended up at Home Depot, but I spent my afternoon fixing the garage. On my live stream on Instagram, somebody asked me about the date here, 12/11/12. This was the date where we swapped out this whole entire garage door because the other one had broke. The garage has been having these clunky noise when it is closing, and it has progressively gotten worse now on opening. So I looked online to figure out what was going on, and it said that typically the clunky noise is the panels itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 panels in here. The panel itself starts to sag over time, and granted it is 10 years. They sag over time, and then when it decides to close, that sagginess pops straight back up to line itself on the track, which makes that loud clunky noise. And I was getting really tired of it. Now, if you neglect fixing the clunky noise, eventually all the panels are gonna sag, and then eventually the whole garage door is gonna fall apart. I went driving around trying to find this support strut right here for the garage door. I can't find them locally. They're only online. They're $100+ each 16 foot that I need. And I decided to just go to Home Depot instead. Because I was already at Home Depot buying some other things, I decided to just get these, I don't know what you call these, little half square support. And these only came in 10 foot. So I bought 2 of these for $40. Right, and I cut one in half to make 16 feet, which you can see I welded right there to make 16 feet. And then what you're supposed to do is a temporary fix. You take the 16-foot bar and then you screw it into the sagging panel. So in this case, it is the second panel top to bottom. This one right here was sagging. The garage closes now without that crazy clunky noise, but it is still there. And now that I stand here in the middle to look at it, that second panel is pretty straight now, but the first one is sagging right in the middle. So I'm gonna have to go back to Home Depot, grab another 2 bar and make another 16 foot to support the first panel. Because we're losing a lot of daylight here and it is gonna get really cold because it's still sprinkling out, the wind is blowing, I'm gonna get to work on my brother's car today. In this video, we're gonna be doing an engine drop on his K-series Wagon. 2 videos ago, you guys saw it should have been the max pitting rod SP1 coilover install. I finally adjusted the suspension, got it to where I want it to be. Now, you guys may think this is it's a pretty good gap, but granted, the front suspension is maxed out. The rear has a lot to go up or down, but I matched it so that way it doesn't look all weird. But nice and firm, fully stiffened, and I did add a front lip to his car to kind of give it that, you know, that aesthetic look. It looks really good with the lip on it because it didn't have one before. But the reason why I decided to leave the height at a 2-finger gap is because K-series in this car sits really low. So his pan is 4.5 inches off the floor, and we're going to be dropping the engine 1 more inch towards the ground. So being at a 2-finger gap, hopefully he's careful when he drives, he doesn't hit his pan. So I ordered this spacer a little while ago. Big shout out to Ryan EF Hatch. He's out of Arizona, one of the first all-wheel drive EF Hatch guys back in the days. And he had posted on Instagram of this guy that's also out in Arizona that makes these engine mount spacers. WorksofArc. I follow him on Instagram since then, and I finally needed these spacers myself. Hit him up. He's pretty prompt. He made it pretty fast, very affordable, and fast shipping. So these are 1-inch spacer, and this is for the EFK1 motor mounts. The EFK1 motor mounts aren't the dual height. Dual height meaning you get 2 bolt patterns to drop the engine lower, and because this is, you know, welded into the frame already, I'm not gonna knock it out and buy a whole new motor mount kit. Instead, we bought the spacers. Now I bought some material here from Home Depot. This is 2-inch by 48 by 3/16 thick, and I'm gonna be making a new motor mount for the all-wheel drive transmission. Houseports said they never did make an all-wheel drive rear mount for the EFK1. So on my wagon, I made one myself. It's been holding up, and I'm gonna make the same one for my brother's car because this was actually the first one that I made, and I don't know what I was thinking. It looks pretty crazy. It has to be remade only because the engine is going to go down 1 more inch, and also not a dual height pattern down there, and also because I want to jack up the car and show you guys his axle angle is really weird. So let me show you guys a better visual of his axle. So here's the hub, and you can see his axle is angled forward, right? So what I need to do is, obviously I'm going to put the spacers on. I'm going to need to make a new rear mount, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the jack under the transfer case, and then I'm going to jack it backward when we get to it, because I got to put the spacers on first. I'm going to put the jack on the transfer case to jack it up, to tilt it backward, to bring the axle more back, to straighten it out to the hub. On my wagon I failed to do that as well, and my axles are actually rubbing onto my fork, so I might have to redo it on my wagon as well too. And I want to show you guys a comparison real quick with the hood. The hood here, you can see, is flushed, and you can see the pulley is sticking up past the hood almost 1 inch. The spacer is taller than that. This is 1 inch. I want to show you guys. The pulley sits just underneath 1 inch, probably 3/4-ish. And I do have an SIR hood that I ordered from Slimeball Built that I have to go pick up in SoCal, and that should give me the extra clearance for the charger itself, this part here, and also give me the extra clearance I need for the top of the pulley for engine movement. So now that you guys have that reference, let's get to work. $22 maybe? Yes sir. I need a set of gear wrenches in my life. Got the back bolt for the motor mount out, and I didn't realize when I did this, but there's also a front motor mount. You can see a 2 bolt right there, 2 17 mil, and then there's a little bracket with a motor mount in the front. Definitely don't remember doing that, but yeah, I gotta take that off so I can drop the engine. Got 2 jack underneath the motor already. Spooky spider webs. This triangulated one is for the transmission. You can kind of see it is almost the same shape. Oh yeah, I definitely need a very long bolt. I'm putting the transmission side on first because I want this motor mount to sit in the bucket, so that way when I take off the passenger side motor mount, the engine's not going to shift around too much because it's going to sit inside here. But I need to figure out some longer bolts real quick. It looks like transmission bolts are going to work. This transmission bracket right here is probably 3/16 thick, and the amount that this thread is sticking out, I think we have plenty to bolt this down. Something like that. One-inch spacer. Look at how high that motor mount sits. It's crazy. Okay, so this is going to be kind of tricky. Let me see. So what I'm noticing now is this spacer is like drilled out for a 17mm bolt, but I noticed that the bolt that came out of the bracket is a 19 thread pitch, and it doesn't fit in the hole. So that means I got to drill this out, because the stud on the post is also a bigger thread pitch. Not a big deal. So I didn't have a really big drill bit except this one, which is too freaking huge, right? So the next size I had was this one. I drilled out the hole to get it one size up, and then I pretty much just used my carbide rotary burst set and just kind of shaved off, reamed the inside to fit this bigger bolt, right? So that's Gucci taters, and I think I have to taper, I don't know which side it is. I got to taper one side because of the little spacer on the stud right here. This little lip. I'm gonna cool this off real quick, throw it back on the mount, and then figure out which side it is, ream it out, and put it in. So it looks like the transmission bolt for the B series T bracket is the perfect length, but this is kind of tricky because you have to put this on first with the engine, I believe, all the way down, because you really don't have any space for this bolt because of the tensioner and the pulley. Now I could take all of this off, but I'm gonna try my best to do it without removing. So let's go ahead and put this washer on. Figure out this got to go on first. Wait, what did I just say I was supposed to do? Just confused myself a little bit here. I'm actually kind of worried that the head of this bolt is kind of too big. I could always shave it down a little bit. I'm probably just going to take this off. Alrighty then, so we got this giant bolt put in, plenty of clearance between the belt. Give you guys some better lighting here. Yep, got some clearance for sure. Got the belt back on. Now all we got to do is, I don't think anything's in the way, so in theory the engine should just drop, so we can line these bolts back up and secure those. That one's pretty close. Not too tight because I need the engine to move around to make the back mount, but we do have both the left and right side of the engine with the spacers on. Jack out. The craziest thing to me right now is the supercharger still looks super high, but I'm gonna go ahead and just lower the hood real quick. Oh wow. Oh wow. Pulley's completely gone. Wow. Okay, so I ordered the hood for my brother, which is an SIR style hood for the Wagon specifically from Slimeball Brian. That hood gives us the extra clearance like my KRX and the giveaway car. Let me show you guys really quickly for reference if you guys don't know what the SIR hood looks like. So it has an extra hump right here, and that should give me about 3/4 to almost an inch of extra clearance in the center, right? So if you really look at it from here, you can't really, no, actually you can see the little hump right here. So the SIR hood is going to give me that extra hump in the middle to clear this. But realistically, now after looking at it, a little hood prop probably would have cleared the stock hood, like this car. Little hood prop, right? I really don't like the hood prop, to be honest with you guys, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do to clear it, right? This car has an H22, so I did the hood prop to clear the cop kit. But for my brother's car, I don't want the hood prop on it, so having the SIR hood on hand is definitely going to come in clutch for the supercharger fitting underneath the hood without the risers, and also just gives you the extra clearance in case the engine rocks or whatever the case may be. It's not gonna like pop up and then like indent the hood like it did right here. So 1-inch spacer installed, driver passenger side. I have to make the rear mount, and for the most part the pulley is definitely under the hood, and that's awesome. So I just cleaned up all my tools and everything here, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm probably gonna cut this video short and not make the rear motor mount. If you guys want to see how I made my rear motor mount, or even the one that's in this car now, I'll be sure to link both of it in the description below if you guys want to see a more thorough like DIY on how to do it if you're trying to go all-wheel drive on your EFK1 motor mounts. But I'm just going to leave this video off with just the spacer install. If you guys are looking for spacers for your EFK1 motor mounts, if you're trying to drop it for like K24 hood clearance, intake manifold setup, or even just drop a K20 lower just so you can clear the hood even more, especially if you're running the stock one. WorksofArc, I'll link his Instagram in the description below if you guys are looking for some for yourself. And I'm probably gonna tackle this again tomorrow and get the rear and front motor mount all situated with it. I also just remembered that this car has a stock stage 1 like Exetti replacement clutch, and I do have an Action stage 5 with the heavy duty pressure plate, so the transmission has to come back out, and I have to swap the clutch and the flywheel. I bought the flywheel for it as well too, just so when we turn it up, I don't know if you guys can see the oil pan, but it matches the height of the lip. So with the car being this high off the ground, I think we have plenty of clearance now with the engine drop on the 1-inch. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue later down the road. The hood is in LA. I have to make time to go all the way out there to pick it up and make a trip out of it, like explore LA and maybe do a pop-up meet, or I could just fork out the damn money and just ship it up here, right? It's getting cold, it's still raining, and I don't want to be out here too late cutting the motor mount brackets and stuff. So I hope you guys understand. If you enjoyed the progress update here on my brother's car, K20 Z3 supercharged, now hidden under the hood with the exception of the hole, be sure to hit the like button. And if you guys want to stick around for more progress update on this car, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.